There's only one cure. A remedy that's only found from one isolated guy in the town. He's a rogue scientist, lives all alone.
Where does he live?
He lives up in the northern part of town where no one goes after the wall fell down.
It's the same blockade, right?
Let's just tell
Can we all meet back up?
Yeah, let's go to the
You guys all done at the pub?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Is the guy who's talking about the scientists that they
No. There's a completely different guy. Okay. Shh. So. Shh. Listen up. Okay, so you all agree you're going to move up towards Belmont's blockade? Okay, so Jimboree is going to go where?
We're going to go with them.
The bottom right down here.
We didn't find any information out.
Alright, Jimboree and Wild Thing go down here to the southeastern corner of town where there appears to be little activity. Everyone else goes up to Belmont's blockade. To the people who are going to Belmont's blockade, you get up there. You see a vast stone wall that has crumbled. It has fallen down. It appears no one has been up here for some time. Although you do notice that there's a faint candlelight coming up from the hill behind the wreckage. You cannot get around the wreckage because it is so tall. And it is a heavy set of objects that may be able to be moved by somebody who could do such a thing. So what does the mover do? The mover pulls out his trusty book, looks up the physical formulas to do so, and uses those formulas to calculate the velocity and force needed to move that rubble out of the way. Doing so miraculously moves the rubble out of the way, and you are able to proceed up the hill. You get up to the top of the hill where the candle is, and there is a dark figure sitting in isolation under a tree.
We gotta go up and talk to him.
So somebody who is up here needs to talk to him. Or
We'll talk.
all right, Jinx.
Are we back together now?
You are all at a group except for two of you. Yeah.
But how? We didn't do the well, though.
We don't have to.
The well. Just to go back a little bit. Actually, the fishmonger's was at the well, so you guys grouped up presumably. All right. So we are now looking at a shadowy figure under a tree with a candle in Belmont's blockade. What do we do?
I think we should all walk up to him. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, say excuse me, sir. Wait, can we pick up a stick first?
All at the same time.
Sure. You pick up a stick.
So, just because.
Just in case.
If he attacks,
Then you
we'll.
don't walk up to it.
Okay. The shadowy figure looks up at you. You can't see his eyes. You can kind of see the lower part of his face, and he says, "Can I help you?
He's probably infected. Just beat him up.
What are you looking for?
We say we have some useful information. Saying that.
What's your useful information?"
We'll tell you. People have let us believe that. No, bribe him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Soda. Mr. Soda.
He's an isolated person. What are we gonna bribe him?
Is anyone that alchemist in like
We'll bring him. I feel like
If you go by yourself.
I think we should tell him we're finding the cure for the kill him.
Okay, so Hiccup outright says, "We're trying to find a cure for the plague. No truth serum is necessary." The guy says, "Yeah, you found me. I'm the one responsible.
Probably the one who started it.
I engineered this thing in a lab.
What?
Have you guys figured out what it is?"
Chlamydia.
Gonorrhea. It could be tricky.
Turns out there's only one thing that seems to get rid of it. He hands you a bottle that has a liquid in it, and on the label it says amoxicillin. What is amoxicillin? It's an antibiotic. So what do you deduce must be the plague?
Hit him a bottle of penicillin.
It's gonorrhea. Correct. The plague.
I guessed that.
He says. He says, "Yeah, I know the symptoms are very similar to some of the other diseases you've been looking at, but it is genetically modified gonorrhea. I made it in my laboratory, and this is the only cure. I cooked up some amoxicillin. However, the genetically engineered gonorrhea got out of control. I had to flee my laboratory. It was in the southeastern part of the city.
that would be the...
Moving to the southeastern part of the city, the people who are down there, what do you do as you get down there? Because remember, you do not know what the other people have learned. There's an abandoned building there.
We go in. I want to ask them how
Right
they
here.
make the what's the ingredients to the cube?
Hold on.
You guys are still up there.
People who are in the southeastern part of town find the abandoned building. What do you choose to do?
Use the skill thing that we have.
What skill?
So like explore everything.
The map one?
Yeah.
Wait,
You use your mapping skills and find out that the building on the inside has basically 2 rooms. There's a big warehouse room and then there's the main laboratory area. And that's all you can deduce because you can't figure out what's actually in there.
So, let's... Well, let's engineer a hammer and try to bust down the door.
You find some stuff on the ground. You manage to build yourself a nice sledgehammer out of it using some rocks and sticks that you've tied together. You go and swing and hit the door and leave a big dent in the door. As soon as you do that, you hear this growl and roar. And then all of a sudden you hear a bunch of crashing and smashing and you've angered something.
Yo, you better run your ass down there.
Janelle, language.
Keep hitting the door.
Okay, so Wild Thing continues hitting the door. Dun dun dun! The door breaks off its hinges.
Oh god.
You are now faced with a gonorrhoid, the genetically engineered gonorrhea bacterium that has changed to look like this. You are now face to face with this beast, and you need to cure it. So,
Throw the stick. Throw it.
where do all the people from Belmont's blockade go? Are you guys gonna?
We should go down there with them to like check on them and like throw the antidote in the thing's mouth.
Okay, well, the people from Belmont's blockade presumably get.
Wait,
Get up.
Wait. Who first? Who's already down there?
The only people that were down there were Wild Thing and Jim Barry.
Oh, okay.
So, I presume everyone else is going to sprint as soon as they find this information, right?
Alright,
Pick up, what do you do?
we're gonna use our, what do you call it, our starting skill or whatever, and we're gonna duplicate the solution. We can do that, right?
Yep.
Alright, then we're gonna do that.
Alright, so you guys, as you're running down, duplicate the solution for the amoxicillin, the antibiotic, and when you get down there, what do you guys collectively as one big group do? What does Jim Bob
Pour it
decide
all
to
over
do?
the monster.
Wait, we can make a.
Jim Bob is now in possession of the antibiotics. What does Jim Bob do with them?
Wait, is the monster and go close its mouth?
It's roaring. It's just making noise and yelling.
You can make it.
It's really angry, and it may charge at you.
Let's shoot. Let's build some
A slingshot.
Oh yeah, we'll make a slingshot.
So, Jim Bob, what do you choose to do?
If we were to mimic like the other scientists with the potion stuff, what we could
You would duplicate the potion, so you actually have four
yeah,
four
so we want
bats.
to like transform into the pink.
Okay, so Jim Bob grabs the antibiotics, duplicates them. Now you have four bottles of these antibiotics. And somebody, what do you want to do? Somebody I haven't heard from. Jinx. Jinx, what do you do?
No, they didn't get the disease.
Wait, is there a thing or a person that can like build stuff?
Yes.
The
The engineer can.
And like build like some kind of like projectile launcher.
Okay, the engineer grabs some stuff out of his pocket. It looks to be gunpowder. Jams it into a rock that he has hollowed out very quickly. Sticks it into the end of a tree trunk he found, a small tree trunk, empty wood, and then lights it as though it were a firecracker. Now what are you going to put in it? Because now this thing's going to go off.
Sure.
So you put the amoxicillin, you put the 4 containers of amoxicillin in it. This thing fires like a bazooka. Fires like a bazooka.
No, we save a portion of the amoxicillin. You need to put all of it. Yeah, put 3
We
in
want
that
2 in there.
Okay, you put half of it in there, we'll say.
Wait, why should we even put it in there? We should like make a potion and like poison the thing.
Well, presumably when you shoot this thing, the amoxicillin goes right into its mouth because it was roaring the whole time. Goes into its mouth, all of a sudden you see it choke, gag, its tentacles are flailing around, and it just kind of goes, and falls over dead. You walk up and start punching it, but it's dead.